Hi there, my name is Leah Rasmussen, and I just wanted to do a quick Thrive Life training for you today on staying organized with your customers. So I have just a filing cabinet here that I use, and a bunch of different files that I've listed, just the names on top. So for example, this is my host file. So any host that I have, I put inside this file, and they actually stay inside this file until they've redeemed their host credit. And the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure that they're able to redeem those host credit before it expires. So I actually will write down on the bottom of it with a highlight and then highlight it what day their expiry is and what their host benefits were. So that at any time, if we're on the phone or anything like that, I can check really quickly rather than having to log into my back office and find that. So I keep them in here for all of those, during all of that time. Now over here I have three different ones. These are rotating ones. So I have a 3-day, 3-week, 3-month. So my 3-day is obviously 3 days right after the party, and I put my customers inside here first and then contact them with three things. Number one is their temporary password, which when I logged them in as a new customer, I wrote on the top of their form. In case they didn't get the email, I can give it to them at that time. The second thing that I'm letting them know about is how to log into their account. And the third is how to be able to track their package. So I also want to thank them for coming to the party. And of course, if there's anything specific that happened at the party or that I learned about that person at the party, I can be more personable with them at that time as well. Then I move them into my 3-week file. And I'm grateful for this filing system because I learned it from my upline, so I want to share the knowledge. In my 3-week file, I might have more than one party going at the same time, obviously, because I only check it every 3 weeks, each party goes in and they have a 3-week rotation, but it can stack up. So what I make sure that I do is at the top of a file, for example, this one has their temporary password here, and then over here I wrote the host's name, and I make sure that I have the date on the bottom. Okay, so that way I know I can grab the 3-week file from that host's party. Okay, so I phone them at their 3 weeks. I'm wanting to make sure that they've started opening their cans, they know how to access recipes on the site. If they have any questions about any of the products that they've ordered and use, I can go over that with them and be helpful for them in that sense. Then I move them into the 3-month file. Now if there's anyone that I had in my customer base from this party that was a one-time order, I don't bother putting them in the 3-month file. I can just move them straight from the 3-week file to my, it's called just Queue Customers file, or sorry, my one-time order file. So I'll just put them into there from that. Any queues I move into my 3-month file. So with my 3-month file, I check that. Again, I'm looking to see which parties I'm doing in clumps, and at this time, anyone who has done a smart start, I'm making sure that they know how to start customizing their orders. Okay, anyone who has been customizing from the beginning, I'm just checking in to make sure that if they have any questions or concerns, I can talk to them about those things at that time and help them out. So that is the process that I use to keep everybody organized, as well as touch base with people and make sure that I'm giving good customer care. Now, if I have somebody that wanted to host from a party and they're moving through my filing system, I don't want to lose them in the 3-month, 3-week file when they're wanting to host. So I'll put them in the 3-day file when they're after their 3-day file. If they want to host, I move them straight from the 3-day file into my hosting file because I'm going to be in contact with them a lot over the next 2 weeks and in preparing for their party. So they don't need to be going into the 3-week, 3-month file. So that's something that I do there. Something else that I like to do is use sticky notes. So I put a sticky note each time they go into their 3-day, 3-month, 3-week. If there's something that was specific about what happened that time, or I'll just write the date on it. With a sticky note, I'll put the date and say, okay, she was happy, she opened this product, or whatever it is that we kind of talked about. She has a child with these certain allergies, or they have a summer cabin, so they're loving it because they can have food in 2 different homes and not go bad, or they are avid campers and they're just loving it. So there's so many different things that are unique to each person, and so in order to keep giving the service that we want to give, I just keep that on the sticky note, and I write the date of the last time I talked to that person with that on the sticky note. The other files that I have inside here are my customer queues, like I mentioned. I have one that's called queues in waiting. So that's, for example, sometimes you'll run into like a customer that couldn't finish putting in their order, but they want to order in the near future, and so I'll put them into that file. And then I have a consultants file. I have one that is paused queues. So anyone that has paused their queue, I take them out of the active queue file and move them into the paused queue file, so that if there's a big sale coming up or things like that, then I can contact them about that. So that's basically how I keep everybody organized. And I'm grateful that my upline taught me how to do it this way, because I feel like my customer service can be a lot better and I can build that relationship with them. So, hi buddy. Anyways, I hope you guys learned a little bit and can go forward with that. Have a great one.